thank you to you, one of our valuable supporters of the Flying Doctor, which helps us keep flying and get the doctors where they need to go. One of the questions that I'm quite often asked is, where does the money go? Unless you're a patient and you're on board the aircraft, it's very difficult for you to really understand where all your valuable donations go. I'd just like to take a few moments just to show you the interior of the Beechcraft King Air aircraft and some of the equipment that we carry on the aircraft nowadays. One of the ways that the Flying Doctor used to operate in its early days was a principle called scoop and run. Sure, there was a doctor on the aircraft, but it was quite often very primitive, and it was a case of just get to the airstrip, do what you needed to do with the patient, load them on the aircraft, and run to the nearest hospital as quickly as you can. Now, as you can see, with all this equipment, the hospital lands at the airport. The equipment that we carry these days is the same as what you would find in an intensive care unit at any major hospital. It's true that we receive both Commonwealth and state government funding to help us with our principal expenditure, such as the fuel for the aircraft, but there is always a shortfall, and the shortfall is mostly with the interior of the aircraft. We've got a machine here called a ZOL. It's a monitoring equipment, and it also does the defibrillation. So if someone has a heart attack or arrests whilst they're a patient on board the aircraft, by the push of a button, we're able to defibrillate that patient and try and get them back. $42,000 worth. Here we have a Oxylog. This is a ventilator. This is a machine that we use to ventilate a patient. So if a patient is unable to continue breathing on their own accord, we're able to intubate and ventilate, and this is the machine that is able to breathe for you. $30,000. So we have multiple emergency aircraft, 2 stretchers per aircraft. So you can see that there's quite a lot of equipment that's involved in having this hospital land at the airport. So that's where you come in, the valuable supporter of the Flying Doctor, and your donations help us get all this valuable equipment and more so that we're up to the state-of-the-art health practice and that we're able to continue to get the help, the finest care to the furthest corner. So I'd like to, on behalf of all the Royal Flying Doctor Service, Southeastern Section, thank you very much for your donations.